Once the film started rolling, things were flying all over the place. I actually got seasick.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
I'm serious.
How can someone get seasick? Explain it to me. How can someone get seasick by watching a space flick?
Okay, if you be quiet for a second, I can explain
I want to know.
it.
Explain it to me.
You could call it space sickness or whatever.
Yeah, that's a new one.
The Gravity film is the director of that film, Alfredo Cuarón. He has also made
Alfonso.
Yeah,
Alfonso, that's correct.
Oh, sorry about that guy.
So bad, but I started to fall asleep until the first action started to come with the debris from when the satellites got hit by the meteors.
You didn't
Well,
have
you
your
know
coffee
everything
that
started going
morning.
on. What?
You didn't have your coffee that morning.
We're going to explore two interesting films that opened this past week or two. One is the new Sandra Bullock film, Gravity, with George Clooney, and the other is Bad Grandpa. We'll see what happens on that adventure. And I want to introduce my fellow commentators here. We have Billy here on my left,
How you doing?
and on the right we have Allison.
Hello.
Who wants to go first?
I like to, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
I want to put my 5 cents in with Gravity. The one thing I got to say about this film is that this is the first film ever that I can actually say when there's explosions in space, there's no sound. Finally, the only thing I didn't like about the movie is that when the space scenes were going on, when all the debris flying around and stuff like that, it was cool. I loved that. Enjoyed it immensely. The only thing I didn't like about it was the jackass that's sitting there opening up his little bag of licorice, adding his own soundtrack to it. But otherwise, it was great. You want to put your 2 cents
That's
in
funny.
Yeah.
That's
well,
funny.
I've got more than 2 cents because I got paid last week. So I really enjoyed Gravity. I actually I was probably a part of the very few who did not see it 3D, which is a big mistake. And I actually may go back and see it again just so I can get the experience of 3D. But what it reminded me of was being at the planetarium in New York City, but it following these storylines with these actual characters that you cared about.
Right.
I loved the special effects. I believe they used new technologies, which made it even more impressive to me. I mean, I bit all my nails off, which, you know, that's a very good gauge for me as far as movies are concerned, and if it's good or not, if I bite all my nails off.
Then when all hell broke loose and, what was it, a Russian thing that exploded?
Yes,
and
exactly.
Caused all this
Satellite.
ruck-
But, sir, the only thing I have about the movie was great. No problem about it. The only problem I had about it was the first 15 minutes was boring as hell.
I didn't find
I
it
mean,
boring.
I went to Jaws myself in my business. And it was much more.
Okay, but
No, I thought it was-
I think the film needed some kind of an introduction.
Yeah,
If it
you
started
had
off
to
with a lot of
establish the
banging and-
characters.
What
in the
kind of
beginning.
introduction do you need?
Well, that needed that 15 minutes where you had a chance to hear something between the two of them.
Well, it's-
and it started off on a low note,
Yeah, well-
and then it broke open.
Well, it's very hard
and things
be-
started happening.
It's hard because you only have 2 characters. So
Yes, true.
And
We
your
had 3
voiceovers.
actually, but he got knocked off early.
But the
Ed
only
Harris.
problem is with the movie, with the 15 minutes, it wasn't that bad, but I started to fall asleep until the first action started to come with the debris from when the satellites got hit by the meteors.
You
Well,
didn't
you
have
know
your
that
coffee
started
that
going on.
morning.
This-
What?
You didn't have your coffee that morning. That's why you were
I don't
falling
drink
asleep.
coffee.
Well, I think they had a lot of coffee once the film started rolling. Things were flying all over the place. I actually got seasick.
Oh, you got to be kidding me.
I'm serious.
How can
I mean,
someone get seasick? Explain it to me.
Well-
How can someone get seasick by
well,
watching
I'll
a space flick?
Okay, if you be quiet for a second, I can explain
I want to know.
it.
Explain it to me.
You could call it space sickness or whatever.
Yeah, that's a new one.
But if you're whirling around and spinning around like you go when you go to a Tivoli
Yeah.
or some kind of carnival and it's nonstop, and this was nonstop.
Yeah.
And I mean, I said, oh my God! I says, how? I mean, if it was a reality, and she was.
Hey,
she
you
was a
finished?
medical- she was
Are
a
you finished
doctor.
yet? Are you finished?
No,
Because
no.
you're not making any sense what you're saying, sir.
Well, I'm saying I am making sense to me.
Yeah.
But She is a medical doctor, and he's an astronaut.
Exactly. Yes,
So-
you got that part right.
So that, well, I get all the parts
Well, what about
right.
a lot of things that actually, obviously it's a fictional movie, but some of the astrophysicists had a lot of problems with the film Gravity.
Exactly.
For example, the fact that Sandra Bullock's hair doesn't float around
Exactly.
when her helmet's off.
Yeah.
And the fact that those gloves that they were wearing, they're actually pressurized gloves, and they're so thick, and they cause your hands to get very cold. So after about a day's worth
Mm-hmm.
of work,
right.
it becomes very hard to use your hands in the way that they were when they were
Exactly.
flying apart, getting debris coming towards them, and they were trying to hold on to
Perfect.
other
exactly.
types of
You got it right on.
yeah.
But what did you think about the part when George Clooney, supposedly was dead, came back to the capsule? And
Well,
decided
this
to
is
open it
this
up
is
in
a spoiler
pressurized
alert. I
capsule?
don't know if we want to go there. That's,
I want to
that's-
go there right now.
let's just
I don't
say
know. I
that would
think
be
you
a
guys are going, and you're creating a lot of spoilers that don't forget.
Spoiler
we
alert,
got people
spoiler
out
alert.
there that are not interested in what you want to detail.
All I have to
about the
say,
film.
if that, to protect those who
Just
don't
give
want to
'em-
know, but if that did happen, I started to feel like, oh God, this film is now become extremely goofy because there is no way that would ever
Goofy.
be plausible.
Wow.
Well, anyway, the film.
You'll see,
the
guys,
film
when you watch it.
It's quite a few records, for this time of the year. Made a lot of money.
Yes.
So obviously
And
there was a lot of
because-
people that liked the film, and I'm saying there was no bad things about the film. Most of it was
Yeah.
good.
Well, I actually read an interview by Jim Lovell, the astronaut, and he says that in actuality, seeing all that space stuff, especially from the Earth, is never that clear anyway. So that's kind of made up right there. There's other aspects of it. It's just like Sandra Bullock, when she had that door open, when George Clooney opened up the capsule.
Spoiler
there was-
alert.
The spoiler, whatever. Shut up. Now, the thing is,
film. It's a film.
who cares?
Who cares about
Yeah,
all these
it's good film. Yeah.
masterful
Hey,
scientific
are you
ideas,
interrupting me?
Yes,
Don't
I am.
interrupt me.
I
You
am,
don't
I am.
interrupt me.
You interrupt
You understand me?
So I'm
Shh.
getting you back.
Enough.
So you could shut up too.
Yeah. Didn't I see
So
you
anyway, this is enough here. Let's not kill the
Yeah.
audience with your
Yeah,
details.
exactly.
So
Okay.
let's just wrap up. That's
Go
what-
ahead.
That's right. Well,
Go ahead.
I basically, when you have a hit film like Gravity, which has made a lot of money and has kind of broken a lot of rules in filmmaking with just beautiful new technology and taking you to this new place, I feel like we're going to start seeing films like it that are going to be starring Justin Bieber and Miley Cyrus. And I might just have to throw up in my mouth if that happens, because I will not go to see that movie. But they're coming,
Yeah.
starring rappers in space.
I'll be waiting for that. Definitely.
And then there's demons and space weirdos that come
Okay,
out and
Yeah.
But
take
I want
over.
to bring up one thing about the Gravity film is the director of that film, Alfredo Cuarón. He has also made
Alfonso.
Alfonso. That's correct.
Oh, sorry about that guy. Don't crucify
Just so
me.
you know, Alfonso, and you're watching this, we got
Anyway,
your name right.
let me finish
Yes,
up on it.
very. Make
This
sure you get the
man
name
made
right.
this director has Mexican director
Mm-hmm.
did that Ye Tu Mama Tambien. It
Y
was
tu
about
mama también.
Yes.
woman and the two boys, that pick her up on the road, and they all decide to go, I guess, to a certain section.
Well, I going back to what we were saying with the astrophysicist getting all up in a huffy puff because it wasn't an accurately sound film as far as the rules of space and gravity. He actually came back and said, that this film is not a documentary; it's a fiction film. So in that sense, yes, with all those facts that we have, it was a film that took you to another place and kind of. I feel that he was successful in that mission of making it seem like you were actually in outer space following these characters.
Listen, it's true to art. You ever been to space? You ever been to space before?
No, I
You
can't
can change
afford
from
it.
140 to 300 degrees below zero.